Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today I have 4 new Christmas journals to show you. These are all made from Wonder Books. They're about the same size as a little golden book. And as I said, I have 4 of them. They're all really super cute ones, and hopefully you will enjoy them too. These will be in my Etsy shop, so go ahead and check the link down below, and the listings will have all the details in them, and then we'll flip through these as well so you can see what they are. If you can't pick up one of these this time, I just hope that they give you inspiration for the journals that you're working on. Let me know down in the comments which one is your favorite, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to start over here to the left with the little Cowboy's Christmas. So let me get these others out of the way here. All of the books have 2 signatures. They have a tassel and an attached tie. They each have 3 altered paper clips, and then they have an 1.5 inch or 1 3/4 I believe, spine. I think that's right. And then the back and the spine are covered with vintage fabric. And then I have some rickrack here. This one I love. I think this is probably my favorite. Here is the tassel. They all have a bell, and then lots of fun ribbons, fabrics, yarns, and trim on them. We're going to open this up. This one has a ribbon that has ho 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 on it. So I kind of did a Western and Santa theme throughout here. Here's the front cover. On this one, I left the front because most of the Wonder Books have, in the inside covers have a print on them. This one had some damage down here, so that's why it has the little pocket. So yeah, it's really cute. And I have these Western, like Christmas horse die cuts that I use throughout as well. This is a vintage market receipt. And then over here is an altered bingo card. I use this vintage Christmas seal of a rocking horse. And then the wrapping paper, or not the wrapping paper, but the scrapbook paper that I used, I found some at Hobby Lobby, and then I also used some in my stash that kind of coordinated. I did a ruffle over here, and then on this side there is a pocket with scrapbook paper, and this is a really cute napkin that I had in my stash. It's a Christmas farm animals, so I thought that was appropriate, so I'll stick that in here. I'll just leave that there and I'll stick it back in. So here's the first page. This book is from 1951. A really super cute book. When I went through my stash, I found a set of Western Christmas stamps, so I used that throughout. I also use washi tape. I use vintage Christmas book pages. Not all of them. I didn't have a lot of Western kind of book pages, so I just used Santa. But I do have a Western themed vintage greeting card in here. And then I have some die cuts. And then I did purchase a printable of vintage Cowboy, like Western themed Christmas cards, and I wish I had some of those, but I just didn't have any like real ones. And I do have really cute vintage, actual vintage, like rocking horse Christmas label, or like Christmas labels. And then I also used other vintage book pages, vintage, like the Monopoly money is Rudolph, Monopoly So yeah, this is really cute. This is one of the stamps. It has Western Santa, really cute. There's a vintage coloring book page. And then here I made a little tag pocket out of an envelope, and then there's a Santa tag there. I have a vintage milk cap on the side there. This is a recipe card. Some vintage stationery. This is a page from an Ideals book. And this is wrapping paper, so I made it into a pocket, and then this is just like a little note card. Dear Santa, or not, it's like notepad paper. There is another one of the stamps that is a cactus with lights on it. All of the book pages from the actual book are in this book. This was some ephemera that I made with book page, so if you want to see that, I have that on it's one of my shorts, I believe, on Instagram and YouTube. I did a lot of sewing in this book with lots of trims that were sewn on the edges and then sewing on the pockets and tuck spots. I added some vintage like board game or like card game pieces in here. Here's one of the vintage Christmas cards. Here's an altered bingo card, and this was a vintage Christmas seal there too. Over here's a tuck spot, and this is a Christmas trivia game card. And then here is another vintage card. I love the rocking horse on the front. Hallmark imitation. Let's tuck that in there. I absolutely love that. This book has wonderful illustrations in it. Another vintage coloring book page. And then I have a Santa vintage doily in here. Here's a vintage card. Vintage wrapping paper. And then on this side is just a little pocket. I put a journaling card in there, Christmas one. And then here is another Christmas trivia card. Some fun vintage, this is seam binding, it's the Christmas seam binding, and this really fun rickrack. Can't find that you can't buy that new. It's definitely vintage, and probably something I found at a thrift store, I'm assuming. This is some fun red dyed paper. I believe my friend Jacqueline at Lovely's Crafting Lodge, she made that paper. And here's a really old vintage book page. I think it was from a magazine. And I have a music page. This is some more wrapping paper, vintage wrapping paper. Another side of the envelope. It has like a little pocket there. This is a great Christmas card game. Fun vintage trim there. And then this is the other side of that magazine page, the Christmas magazine page. This is a popcorn bag, and then I just added this vintage image of a little cowboy on a vintage rocker, or rocking horse. And then this is the last of the end of the signature, so I have a little Christmas playing card there, and then this is another playing card. Then on this side I have a tuck spot, and I had a couple of these little felt cowboy boot embroidered boots that it just to me looked like a little stocking, so, and it also looked like a boot, so I stuck that in there. And then over here I altered a flashcard with some rocking horse vintage fabric, and then this die cut with some rickrack and some yarn. A little Monopoly money there. And that is on the back. So that is this one. Really cute. Hopefully you enjoyed looking at that one. Now we'll move on to the next one. Alright, this one is called Cutie Bear Santa's Helper. This is what the tassel looks like. Similar items, but I used the fabrics that I actually covered the book with, and then added some different ribbons and things. It has this green grosgrain ribbon. Here's a really cute card. A vintage, I think it's a reprint, but I really love that. And I altered this bingo card. This is an actual vintage Christmas seal. With this one, I kind of went with the reindeer theme for it. This book is from 1956. This is a really fun reindeer trim that I had in my stash. I also added some like other Christmas, vintage Christmas pages in here. And then this is a little Christmas bear vintage Christmas tag. Some Monopoly money there. In the popcorn bag, I added an altered bingo card. And then here's some scrapbook paper I had in my stash. I made it into a pocket, and then this is a recipe card. I stamped Santa on the sleigh with a reindeer down at the bottom. And then on this side, ho, ho, ho. Here's a napkin, and then another vintage. This is a magazine page, a real, like it's an older one, so it was real. I sewed it onto paper because it was just really, I was afraid it was going to tear. And then I put it on this stationery on the back. I have a vintage coloring book page, and then another book page here. Love that image. I used some of the Christmas washi in here from the washi tape shop. I will be doing another video specifically. The project will be using a lot of the washi. But if you haven't seen the video that I did, I'm going to add some glue to this, I think, because the washi tape is coming up. So I'll fix that down there. If you haven't seen the fall video that I made using a lot of the fall washi, I'll try and put the link down below for that. I do have, yeah, I'll put the link down below for the washi tape shop. So I have a coupon code for them. Here is another game card piece. I used this deer tag to make a little tuck so that I tucked in a journaling card there. It's a Christmas lights one. Then on this side, I added one of my ephemera pieces that I made with the book page. Here's more of the washi. It's really pretty. I love the watercolor designs that they have with their washi tape. And then here is a really cute little reindeer tag. This one is a bear. And then another playing card, a game card. And here on the belly band, I have this vintage market receipt. And then over here is a trivia card and some Monopoly money. I don't remember what brand, what scrapbook paper this was from. I altered flashcard, or yeah, it's like a music flashcard with a reindeer stamp and ho ho ho. This page had some damage, so I added washi there. I think there was a tear in the book page. Some wrapping paper. And another book page. Here's that same invitation card. I just put it in as a page, so the other side you'll see here in a second. And then I had this fun clear acetate with reindeer heads on it. And I had a piece of reindeer ribbon that I sewed all the way around. Down here, I stamped "May Your Christmas Be Merry and Bright." And then in the center of this signature is a vintage coloring book page. I stamped some little, they're like sketchy Christmas trees or pine trees. And then here is another washi sticker. And then this is the other side of that card. It's really cute. So it's just a sticker, and then I had some money in there, and then this is a sticker that says naughty or nice. In this pocket, I put this vintage card. It's like a tag, I guess, a really big tag. It has a pull apart sticker there. Like you take the top off and it's a sticker. It's huge, from 1987 it says. I reinforced a lot of these pages from some of these books because it's just really delicate and I didn't want to risk tearing when I sewed it into the spine. So that's why you see like the washi tape at the edge there. And then this is a little bag and I stuck a playing card in there, and that goes in the little belly band. And then over here is a Christmas card, playing card, and a note paper. And then in the last pocket here I have a vintage flashcard. This was from vintage wrapping paper, and then I added the ribbon and the rickrack and added some chenille yarn at the top there. And that is that one. Really cute. Okay, let's go on to, there's two of the Polly's Christmas present, and they're both different from different years. So this is this one. It had like a darker, like the darker green, so I went with this darker vintage fabric on the spine and the back. And then here is the tassel. I used the red grosgrain ribbon. This is the whole image from the front. There's no damage, so I didn't put a pocket or anything there. So I just used like part of a circle to attach the ribbon. I do that a lot. If, sometimes if I forget to attach it inside my initial cover, I'll do this, but also on these where the front cover has a cool image on it. And then here is a little tuck. Again, this scrapbook paper, I think this is a pad from Michael's. I wanted to keep this image down here, so I made a tuck at the top. And then this is a vintage postcard. Had the cute little puppy in the center. I did lots of sewing, of course, like always. And then here, I made kind of like a double pocket, a side pocket with one of the journaling cards. And then I made a pocket with another card, or cut apart, and altered this flash card. I had some really cute dog stickers. I think they were from Hobby Lobby. Here's the first page of the book. And this one is from 1953. Here's a bingo card. This is a vintage, well, it's from 2015. Well, that would be 10 years ago, not quite vintage, but they're like those stickers that you get from the American Lung Association, like a little stamp. Got a fuzzy there. All right, oh, there it is again. Another one of the cute little stickers. Here's some wrapping paper on both sides. So this has an opening at the top. There isn't anything in there right now, but you can put things in there. I always like to save, if I get wrapping paper, fun wrapping paper at Christmas time, I always save pieces as much as I can. They're not terribly damaged. This is a vintage stationery. Really cute. And then I also made some die cuts for the dog. You'll see a bunch of them throughout. Here is a trivia card. And then I had this really cute napkin. I put one in each of the books, but it has a dog and like a bear and a cat. So I just made it into a little tuck spot. And then I have some like 1980s Christmas cards of dogs. Just a little tuck. Another little sticker there. And then here is an envelope that I made. There's a little pocket up here with some tickets, and then I made a pocket with this tag on the side there. This had more like a rip right here, so I added washi down there. Another pocket. The pages from the Wonder books, since they have the inside covers are part of the book pages, they're not like little golden books to where there's 3 pages per 6 pages, like 3 folded pages in each signature. 2 of the pages in the book are just single to accommodate that the pages on the cover, if that makes sense. So some of the pages I had to make a little hinge, I guess you could say, and just attach it to one of my pages because it didn't have an accompanying book page. All right, moving on. Here's the other side of the wrapping paper page. I made another little tuck with this ticket or tag and added another cut apart from the paper collection. And then on this side, I used one of the pieces of the wrapping paper, and then I put this Holiday Charades card in there. I did the same thing on this side. This is the other side where I made a little side tuck. There's a vintage altered flash card there and a little pocket here for playing card. And then some Monopoly money tucked in there. And then on to the second signature. I made this pocket. This is one of the dog die cuts. Another sticker with a market receipt. Another dog die cut. And then this is a cookbook page. So there's a Christmas Jell-O loaf, I suppose you would call that. I would not enjoy this because I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Some Jell-O I like with like oranges and pineapple, and if it's red, but I don't know about that. It has oranges and cranberry. which I like those things, but not together in a jello. Anyway, this looks good, however, except that that's fruitcake and I wouldn't like that either, so it does look pretty. There's a book page. More. This is an Ideals book page. It had a really fun little dog. It's really cute. Another envelope. Added a die cut and then cut apart page there. Card. Coloring book page, vintage one. Oh, there. Another die cut. In this envelope, I put one of the bags. It says naughty or nice on it. I didn't stick anything in this one, I don't think. No. So it's just a little bag. Can add some stuff to glue it onto another page or whatever. This is an envelope. It came with one of the cards. It was back when cards had matching envelopes. So I made that into a little flip out, and then I added a recipe card in there. Christmas recipe card. This is another vintage card, like from the 80s probably, or the 90s. It's a belly band. I just added some note paper there. And then this is the last part, like the back cover. This is an altered bingo card. And then, well, I just added a sticker. It's not super altered. There's a die cut. And then over here, this was a tag I'd made a while back with one of my metal dies. So I made one of these for each of the books. The dog is a little different, like different pose, but the same paper and everything. So I think that turned out really cute. And that is that one. Now we'll look at the other Polly's Christmas present. This one's more bright, and I think this is my favorite because I love the doll on the front, in between the two. So I used a brighter fabric. It's a vintage, like, holly fabric. And then here is the tassel. Has the same cover on the inside, and I think the pages are all the same, possibly. I can't remember. But on this front, I used a different paper pad from Michael's. It was like a different year. Made a little pocket with this tag, and that was tucked in there. I don't remember. Let's see when this one was. This was 1976 printing of it. And I'm gonna look here and see if the pages are the same. Yeah, they are. Can definitely tell this one is an older one. It's darker. And this is a 53, but that's a 70. What did I say? 76 reprint. Yeah. Here is another card or envelope, and then I stamped "May Your Christmas Be Merry and Bright" and added some washi, and then a little die cut on that side with a recipe card. There's a little tuck here, and I added a sticker and another market receipt. And then this is a different card. It opens up like that, and then you'll see on the other side, I believe there's a dog on that side. This is more of the wrapping paper, and I added the bingo card in there. Envelope and a little tag. A lot of similar items in here. And it looks like I'm going to need to go and add some glue to these little stickers because they seem to be popping up. So I will do that definitely before sending them out. This is an ideals page. So on this side, there's a poem called Puppy Love. And then on this side, there's a poem called Christmas Puppy. Little die cut, really cute. I added a tag here with, I think I got it stuck. Ah, there, I got it. Didn't rip or anything. Just a little journaling card stuck in there. And then some tickets on that side. And I didn't put anything in this one, that pocket. This is the other side of that card. Here is the altered flashcard for this one. These little stickers, they're those, like the stickers that you used to get in the mail. I'm not sure what it was from, but just something that I had in my stash. We're here. I made a corner tuck up here because I wanted to keep the image at the bottom of the paper, and then I added a die cut and some Monopoly money. And then there's a belly band and another altered flashcard. Playing card, Monopoly money. Here's another Christmas recipe cookbook page, and that looks yummy to me. Really yummy bread. Here's another bingo card. A cute little puppy in the center. It's another tag from the collection. The napkin. This one flips out here, and then there's a pocket there and a pocket there. Here's another Christmas card with the, looks like the black and golden lamps. Really cute. Oops. There we go. Oops, still, okay, we're all good. Center. And here's the other side of that card. It's another little tag. These are so cute. And then on the other side, Santa playing card and some tickets. Little envelope. I made a pocket on this side of the bag, or I made a pocket at the top of the lunch sack there, stuck in the notepad paper. And over here is a belly band and another really cute Christmas card. Puppies. Over here is the little bag. This one I covered with a die cut and then added a playing card in there. There's a trivia card tucked up in there. And then here is the handmade tag that I made, similar to the other one, but this one is standing. And that is the last book. So here's the back of this one. And just give you another, I think my stack of stuff here is coming over. There we go. I'll add in them all again so you can see them. And as I said, these are going to be in my, or they're in my Etsy shop when you are watching this. And there they all are. So thank you for watching. If give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your favorite one is. And I'll see you again next time. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.